Have you ever paused in the midst of a hectic day, perhaps while rushing through the crowded streets of a bustling city like Seattle, and wondered, why am I so consumed by what others think of me? Why do I let their fleeting glances or whispered judgments weigh so heavily on my heart, pulling me further from the stillness I crave? In a world obsessed with outward appearances, social media likes, and the approval of others, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. But here's a profound truth that Daily Buddhist invites you to explore. Much of our suffering stems from clinging, whether to the opinions of strangers, the desires that flicker like flames, or the illusion that we can control everything around us. And here's the liberating realization that can shift your entire perspective. Nobody truly cares as much as you think they do. Take a moment to let that sink in. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and feel the weight of that imaginary spotlight lift from your shoulders. Why don't they care? Because they, too, are tangled in their own web of worries, dreams, and distractions, caught in the same cycle of attachment that you are. When you release the need for validation, when you let go of the desperate grasping for approval, you step into a space of freedom. This is the heart of the Dharma, the ancient teachings of Buddhism that guide us toward inner peace through wisdom and compassion. At Daily Buddhist, we believe that true happiness doesn't come from pleasing others. It blossoms when you align with the path of liberation and awakening. Imagine a woman named Aisha, standing at a busy intersection in Seattle, her phone buzzing with notifications. She's waiting for likes on a photo she posted, her heart racing with every new alert. But as the minutes pass, she notices a street musician playing a gentle melody on his guitar. She pauses, puts her phone down, and listens. For the first time that day, she feels a quiet calm wash over her. In that moment, Aisha realizes that the validation she sought was a hollow pursuit. Her peace came from within. This is the journey we're inviting you to take today. Stop seeking validation from the outside world and turn inward. Ask yourself, am I living in alignment with my deepest values? Reflect on that as we dive deeper into these transformative teachings. One of the greatest barriers to personal freedom is our endless pursuit of validation. We live in a world where approval feels like currency. Whether it's the number of likes on a post, a compliment from a colleague, or recognition at a community event in a small town like Asheville. But seeking validation from others is like trying to fill a cracked bowl with water. No matter how much you pour in, it will never hold. The Buddha once said, "Be a light unto yourself." This doesn't mean you should ignore all feedback or isolate yourself from relationships. It means anchoring your self-worth in your own principles, not in the shifting opinions of others. When you depend on external validation, you hand over the reins of your happiness to someone else. But when you validate yourself, you reclaim your power. Consider this. Are you living in alignment with your values? Are you acting with kindness, integrity, and purpose? If the answer is yes, that's all the validation you need. Stop looking outward for approval and start cultivating an inner light that guides your path. Let's reflect on this through the story of Maya, a young graphic designer in Asheville who spent years chasing approval through her work. She'd stay up late perfecting designs, hoping her clients would shower her with praise. But even when they did, the joy was fleeting. She'd soon worry about the next project, the next critique. One evening, after a particularly harsh rejection, Maya sat by her window, watching the sunset over the Blue Ridge Mountains. She asked herself, why am I letting their words define me? In that moment, she decided to create art for herself, not for applause. She painted a piece inspired by the colors of the sky, not caring if anyone else would see it. For the first time, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. This shift mirrors the Buddhist teaching of non-attachment. Releasing the need for external approval allows us to find peace within. This pursuit of validation often stems from a deeper fear of not being enough. In today's hyper-connected world, social media amplifies this fear. We post a photo, then check our phones obsessively, waiting for likes to affirm our worth. But what if we measured our value by our own standards instead? Imagine the freedom of waking up each day and asking, did I act with compassion today? Did I stay true to my principles? These questions root us in what truly matters. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us that external praise is impermanent. It comes and goes like the wind. But the light within, the one you nurture through self-awareness and integrity, burns steadily. To stop seeking validation, start small. Spend a day without checking for likes or compliments. Notice how it feels to simply be, without the need for others' approval. Over time, you'll find that the only validation that matters is the one you give yourself. A quiet affirmation that you're living in alignment with your deepest truth. It's tempting to point fingers at others or external circumstances when life feels heavy. Maybe you've thought, if only my boss in Portland were more understanding, or if I had more savings, or if I'd grown up in a different neighborhood, my life would be better. But waiting for the world to change keeps you trapped in a cycle of helplessness. The Buddha taught, no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. Taking responsibility for your life means recognizing that you have the power to shape your thoughts, actions, and choices. This isn't about blaming yourself for every challenge. It's about choosing how you respond. Life will always bring storms, but your response determines your growth. Every small decision you make today, whether it's choosing to read a book, offering a kind word to a stranger, or releasing a harmful habit, plants the seeds for the life you'll live tomorrow. You hold the power to create change. Embrace it, and you'll discover a strength you never knew you had. Consider the story of Liam, a barista in Portland who felt stuck in his job, blaming his manager for his unhappiness. He'd complain daily about the long hours and lack of appreciation, convinced that a better boss would fix everything. But one rainy afternoon, while walking home through the city's misty streets, Liam passed a small bookstore displaying a copy of the Dhammapada, a collection of the Buddha's teachings. Curious, he bought it and read the line, "We ourselves must walk the path." Struck him like lightning. He realized he couldn't control his boss, but he could control his own mindset. Instead of sulking, Liam started arriving at work with a smile, offering kind words to customers, and even suggesting new ideas to improve the cafe. Over time, his manager noticed his positivity and gave him more responsibilities. But more importantly, Liam felt a newfound sense of agency. He was no longer a victim of his circumstances. Taking responsibility also means facing the uncomfortable truth that our thoughts shape our reality. In Buddhism, the mind is seen as the root of all experience. If you dwell on resentment or blame, you cultivate suffering. But if you choose gratitude and action, you cultivate peace. For example, if you're struggling financially, you might feel powerless. But responsibility looks like taking small steps, creating a budget, learning a new skill, or seeking support, rather than waiting for a miracle. This aligns with the Buddhist concept of the middle way, neither indulging in self-pity nor denying reality, but walking a balanced path of effort and acceptance. Start by reflecting on one area of your life where you feel stuck. What's one action you can take today, however small, to move forward? Maybe it's apologizing to a friend, signing up for a class, or simply choosing to let go of a grudge. Each choice is a step toward freedom, a reminder that you are the architect of your own path. Growth is at the core of Buddhist teachings, but it's not about reaching some perfect endpoint or outshining others. It's about the quiet, steady journey of becoming a better version of yourself. The Buddha warned that comparing ourselves to others breeds envy and discontent. Instead, focus on your own path. Ask yourself, what small step can I take today to grow into the person I aspire to be? Growth doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's in the subtle moments, like choosing patience over frustration when your child spills juice on the carpet, or practicing gratitude instead of dwelling on what you lack. Growth also means embracing mistakes as opportunities to learn. Every stumble is a stepping stone to greater wisdom. Celebrate each small victory, for the journey of growth is a lifelong adventure. Let me share a story from my own life that brought this lesson home. A few years ago, I attended a mindfulness retreat in the forests of Oregon, hoping to deepen my meditation practice. There, I met a man named Ravi who seemed to embody serenity. While I struggled to sit still for 10 minutes, Ravi meditated for hours, his face calm and focused. I felt inadequate, comparing my restlessness to his stillness. But one evening, as we shared tea by a crackling fire, Ravi confided in me. "I've been meditating for years," he said, "and I still struggle. Some days my mind races like a storm, but I keep showing up." His words were a revelation. Growth isn't about being better than someone else. It's about being better than you were yesterday. That retreat taught me to measure my progress by my own efforts, not by others' achievements. In our modern lives, comparison is a constant trap. We scroll through social media, seeing curated glimpses of others' success. Someone's new car, a friend's promotion, a stranger's perfect vacation in Bali. But the Buddhist teachings remind us that this comparison is a form of suffering, rooted in ignorance of our own unique path. Instead, focus on small intentional acts of growth. For example, if you struggle with patience, try this. The next time you're stuck in traffic, instead of honking or fuming, take a deep breath and notice the world around you. The sound of the rain, the rhythm of your breath. That moment of mindfulness is growth. Or if you're working on gratitude, start a nightly ritual of writing down 3 things you're thankful for. A warm meal, a kind word, a quiet moment. Over time, these small acts rewire your mind, aligning with the Buddhist principle of gradual cultivation. Growth is a garden, not a race. Tend to it daily, and you'll bloom in ways you never imagined. The world around us is a symphony of noise, opinions, criticisms, and distractions at every turn. Whether it's the endless scroll of social media or the unsolicited advice from a neighbor in Boulder, we're bombarded with messages about who we should be, how we should look, and what we should do. But most of this noise is irrelevant to your path. In Buddhism, mindfulness teaches us to anchor our attention in the present moment and release what doesn't serve us. Ask yourself, does this thought or opinion truly matter to my goals and peace of mind? If the answer is no, let it go like leaves drifting on a stream. Blocking out the noise also means setting boundaries. Protect your energy by limiting time with people or situations that drain you. Surround yourself with those who uplift and inspire you, like a close friend who encourages your dreams. When you tune into your own voice instead of the world's chatter, you'll find clarity and purpose. Let's explore this through the experience of Elena, a yoga instructor in Boulder who felt overwhelmed by the expectations of her community. Her students often gave unsolicited advice about her classes. Some wanted more intensity, others wanted more relaxation. Meanwhile, her social media feed was filled with images of perfect yoga teachers, making her question her own style. Elena felt like she was drowning in noise, unable to hear her own intuition. One morning, she decided to take a solo hike in the Rocky Mountains. As she walked, she practiced mindfulness, focusing on the crunch of leaves under her feet, the scent of pine in the air. She asked herself, does this criticism align with my purpose? The answer was clear. No. She returned home and set boundaries, limiting her social media time and politely declining feedback that didn't resonate. For the first time, she felt free to teach yoga in a way that felt authentic to her. This noise isn't just external. It's internal too. Our minds often replay old criticisms or imagine judgments, like a radio stuck on a static channel. In Buddhism, this is called monkey mind, the restless chatter that pulls us away from the present. To quiet it, try a simple mindfulness practice. When you feel overwhelmed by noise, pause and take 5 deep breaths. With each inhale, imagine gathering the distractions. With each exhale, imagine releasing them. This practice aligns with the Buddhist teaching of letting go, helping you discern what truly matters. Setting boundaries is equally crucial. If a friend constantly drains your energy with negativity, it's okay to limit your time with them. Instead, seek out those who share your values, like a mentor who inspires you to grow. By filtering the noise, you create space for clarity, allowing your inner voice to guide you toward a life of purpose and peace. Many of us live as if we're under a constant spotlight, imagining that others are scrutinizing our every move, how we dress, what we say, whether we succeed or fail. This mindset can paralyze us, leading to overthinking and fear of failure. But here's a truth that can set you free. Nobody cares as much as you think they do. Most people are too wrapped up in their own lives, their own worries, ambitions, and insecurities, to dwell on your actions for more than a fleeting moment. They might notice something you do, but it's quickly forgotten as they return to their own struggles. This realization isn't meant to diminish your worth. It's meant to liberate you. Think about how much time you've spent worrying about what others might think. Perhaps you've hesitated to pursue a passion, like starting a small bakery in your hometown of Asheville, because you feared criticism. But those fears are mostly in your mind. When you internalize this truth, you stop living to meet others' expectations. You gain the courage to chase your dreams, speak your truth, and live authentically. Living for yourself doesn't mean disregarding others. It means honoring your values while balancing your commitments. It means taking risks, knowing that failure is a lesson, not a source of shame. When you stop fearing judgment, you free yourself to try, fail, and try again. Step boldly into the life you want to create, knowing that the audience you imagine doesn't truly exist. Let's dive deeper with the story of Noah, a budding entrepreneur in Asheville who dreamed of opening a bakery specializing in vegan pastries. For years, he held back, worried about what his family might think. His father, a traditional baker, often dismissed veganism as a fad. Noah also feared failing publicly, imagining his neighbors whispering about his failed venture. But one day, while walking through the city's vibrant farmers market, he overheard a vendor say, "I wish someone sold vegan croissants here." That moment sparked a realization. The only person holding him back was himself. He reflected on the Buddhist teaching of non-attachment to others' opinions and decided to take the leap. Noah opened his bakery, and while it wasn't an instant success, he found joy in the process, experimenting with recipes, connecting with customers, and learning from setbacks. His father eventually came around, even trying a vegan scone and admitting it was pretty good. Noah's story shows that the fear of judgment is often an illusion, one we can release to find true freedom. This freedom also transforms how we view failure. In Buddhism, failure is not a dead end but a teacher. The Buddha himself faced countless challenges on his path to enlightenment, yet he persisted, learning from each obstacle. When you realize that others aren't watching as closely as you think, failure loses its sting. You can take risks, like starting a new career, moving to a new city, or expressing your true feelings, without the paralyzing fear of being judged. This aligns with the Buddhist concept of equanimity, maintaining balance regardless of praise or blame. To cultivate this freedom, try a small experiment. Do something you've been hesitant to try because of fear of judgment. Maybe it's wearing a bold outfit, sharing a creative project, or speaking up in a meeting. Notice how little others react, and how liberating it feels to act for yourself. Over time, this practice builds courage, allowing you to live a life that's true to your heart, not dictated by the imagined gaze of others. Happiness is a universal pursuit, yet so many of us place its responsibility in the hands of others or external circumstances. We tell ourselves, "I'll be happy when I get that promotion at my job in Denver, when I find the perfect partner, or when I earn the respect of my peers." But happiness doesn't come from the outside. It's cultivated within, and you are the one responsible for it. The Buddha said, "Happiness does not depend on what you have or who you are. It solely relies on what you think." External factors are fleeting. A new job might bring joy for a while, but the excitement fades. A relationship might offer love, but it can't shield you from life's challenges. If you pin your happiness on these unstable things, you'll always be chasing it, never truly grasping it. The good news? True happiness is within your reach. It's a state of mind you can nurture through mindfulness, gratitude, and self-compassion. Start by asking, what truly brings me joy? Often it's the simple things. Sharing a laugh with a friend, savoring a warm cup of tea on a rainy morning in Portland, or feeling the breeze on your face during a walk. Mindfulness helps you find beauty in these moments. Gratitude shifts your focus to what you have, rather than what you lack. And self-compassion reminds you to be kind to yourself, even when you falter. Happiness is a practice, not a destination. Choose to cultivate it every day, and you'll find peace even in life's storms. Let's explore this through the journey of Priya, a single mother in Denver who felt her happiness depended on her circumstances. She thought, "I'll be happy when my son gets into a good school, or when I can afford a bigger apartment." But life kept throwing challenges her way. Bills piled up and her son struggled with his grades. One evening, feeling overwhelmed, Priya attended a local meditation class. The teacher shared the Buddha's teaching on happiness as a state of mind, not a result of external achievements. Inspired, Priya started a daily gratitude practice, writing down 3 things she was thankful for each night, like her son's laughter, a kind neighbor's help, or the warmth of her morning coffee. She also practiced mindfulness, taking moments to breathe deeply and notice the world around her. The sound of birds outside her window, the softness of her son's hug. Over time, Priya noticed a shift. Even though her circumstances hadn't changed, her heart felt lighter. She realized that happiness wasn't something to chase. It was something to create, right here, right now. This teaching challenges the modern narrative that happiness comes from having it all. We're conditioned to believe that a perfect life, complete with a dream job, a loving partner, and financial security, will make us happy. But the Buddha's wisdom flips this on its head. Happiness is an inside job. It's about training your mind to find joy in the present, regardless of external conditions. For example, if you're feeling stressed, try a mindfulness exercise. Close your eyes and focus on your breath for 1 minute. Notice the air moving in and out, the rise and fall of your chest. This simple act can ground you, reminding you that peace is always accessible. Gratitude, too, is a powerful tool. Instead of focusing on what's missing, celebrate what's here. A warm meal, a sunny day, a friend's text. Self-compassion is equally vital. When you make a mistake, speak to yourself as you would a dear friend. It's okay. You're learning. You're enough. By taking responsibility for your happiness, you free yourself from dependency on others, cultivating a joy that's unshakable, rooted in the present moment. One of the most profound teachings of Buddhism is anicca, or impermanence. It reminds us that everything in life, joy, sorrow, success, failure, praise, criticism, is temporary. This truth isn't meant to discourage you. It's a tool to help you release attachment and embrace life's flow with grace. Think about the happiest moments in your life, perhaps a celebration with loved ones at a lakeside cabin in Montana. That joy didn't last forever, did it? Over time it faded and life moved on. The same is true for painful moments, like the heartbreak of a lost friendship. At the time it felt unbearable, but eventually it softened and you grew stronger. Impermanence is liberating. It reminds you that no challenge lasts forever, giving you resilience to face hardship. It also teaches you to cherish joyful moments while they're here, knowing they won't last. Instead of clinging to people, possessions, or experiences, you can enjoy them without relying on them for your happiness. Accepting impermanence doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you live with greater awareness. You treasure each moment, knowing it's unique and fleeting. You become more compassionate, more forgiving, and more present. To embrace impermanence, practice mindfulness. Notice how your thoughts and emotions rise and fall like waves on a shore. Observe how seasons change, how your body evolves, how conversations come and go. Gratitude helps too. Appreciating what you have right now, knowing it won't always be there, deepens your connection to the present. Impermanence isn't a limitation. It's the foundation of freedom, gratitude, and peace. Let's reflect on this through the story of Amara, a photographer who experienced the power of impermanence during a trip to a lakeside cabin in Montana. She'd planned the getaway to celebrate her first gallery exhibition, a moment of triumph after years of hard work. The weekend was filled with laughter, shared meals, and stunning sunsets over the lake. But on the last day, a storm rolled in, canceling their plans for a final hike. Amara felt a pang of disappointment, clinging to the joy of the previous days. Then she remembered a Buddhist teaching she'd read about anicca. Sitting by the window, watching the rain, she reflected on how the joy of the weekend was temporary, but so was the storm. She let go of her attachment to the perfect trip and instead savored the moment, the sound of raindrops, the warmth of her coffee, the quiet presence of her friends. This shift in perspective brought her a deeper peace than any hike could have. Amara realized that impermanence wasn't something to fear. It was a reminder to live fully in each fleeting moment. Impermanence also reshapes how we relate to others. When we understand that our time with loved ones is limited, we become more present, more appreciative. Think of a loved one you haven't seen in a while. The next time you're with them, notice the small details, their smile, the sound of their voice, the way they laugh. Knowing these moments are temporary makes them more precious. This teaching also applies to life's challenges. If you're going through a difficult time, perhaps a health issue, a financial struggle, or a strained relationship, remind yourself, this too shall pass. In Buddhism, this acceptance of impermanence is a cornerstone of resilience. It helps us face even the ultimate impermanence, death, with grace. Rather than fearing the end, we can focus on living meaningfully now. To deepen your understanding of anicca, try a daily practice. At the end of each day, reflect on one moment of joy and one moment of difficulty. Notice how both have already begun to fade. This awareness helps you let go of attachment, cultivating a peace that flows with life's natural rhythm. Before we move to our conclusion, let's connect. If you've ever used mindfulness to find calm in the chaos of daily life, type 1 in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. If you're just beginning your mindfulness journey, type 2. You're in the right place, and we're here to support you every step of the way. And if this message resonates with you, Don't let this moment of clarity slip away. Subscribe now to begin your journey into mindful awareness with Daily Buddhist. As we come to the end of this journey, let's reflect on the wisdom we've uncovered together. Life, in all its beauty and complexity, is a dance of impermanence, ever-changing, ever-flowing like a river winding through the mountains of Colorado. The teachings of Buddhism, as shared through Daily Buddhist, remind us that our suffering often comes from clinging to the opinions of others, to fleeting desires, to the illusion of control. But when we let go, when we release the need for validation and embrace the truth that nobody cares as much as you think they do, we step into a space of profound freedom. This freedom isn't about disregarding others or shirking responsibilities. It's about living authentically, in alignment with your deepest values, and finding peace within yourself. Think back to Aisha, the woman we met in the introduction, standing at that busy intersection in Seattle. Her story is a mirror for all of us. How often have we, like Aisha, chased external approval only to find it fleeting? How many times have we held ourselves back, fearing judgment that never came? The truth is, most people are too absorbed in their own lives, their own struggles, dreams, and insecurities, to dwell on ours. This realization is a gift. It means you are free to focus on your growth, your happiness, and your purpose. It means you can take risks, make mistakes, and learn from them without the weight of imagined critics holding you back. Let's revisit the core lessons we've explored. First, stop seeking validation from the outside world. Your worth isn't determined by likes, compliments, or recognition. It's rooted in your own integrity and values. Be a light unto yourself as the Buddha taught, and let that light guide your path. Second, take responsibility for your life. You have the power to shape your thoughts, actions, and responses, no matter the circumstances. Third, focus on growth, not perfection, but the steady journey of becoming a better version of yourself. Small steps like choosing patience over anger or gratitude over discontent lead to profound change over time. Fourth, block out the noise. The world will always be loud, but you can choose what to let in. Protect your energy, set boundaries, and listen to your own voice above the chatter. Fifth, embrace your freedom. Live for yourself, not for the expectations of others. Take bold steps toward your dreams, knowing that failure is a teacher, not a judge. Sixth, recognize that you are responsible for your happiness. It's not the world's job to make you happy, it's yours. Cultivate joy through mindfulness, gratitude, and self-compassion, and you'll find peace even in life's storms. Finally, impermanence reminds us that everything is temporary. This truth is both humbling and empowering. It teaches us to let go of attachment, to cherish the present, and to face life's challenges with resilience. Joy fades, but so does sorrow. Success passes, but so does failure. When you accept this natural cycle, you stop resisting change and start moving with it. You live more fully, love more deeply, and embrace life as it is, ever-changing and infinitely precious. So, how can you protect yourself and stabilize your energy as you move forward? Start by letting go of distractions. Release the need to please everyone, the fear of judgment, the endless scroll of comparison. Stay true to yourself, living with mindful intention. Practice daily mindfulness, whether it's a 5-minute meditation in the morning, a moment of gratitude before bed, or a pause to breathe deeply during a stressful day. These small acts anchor you in the present and cultivate inner peace. Be kind to yourself, especially when you stumble. You're human, and growth is a journey, not a race. Your journey toward peace begins now. Take a moment today to practice one act of mindfulness, perhaps a short meditation or a walk in nature, noticing the world around you. Share your experience in the comments. What did you notice? How did it feel to pause and be present? Your story could inspire someone else to take that first step. As you move forward, remember that peace is not found by seeking. It's found by pausing, breathing, and embracing the present. Life is precious because it's temporary. When you truly understand this, you can release the past, stop worrying about the future, and fully immerse yourself in the beauty of now. The wisdom you seek has always been within you, waiting to be uncovered through the teachings of the Dharma. Daily Buddhist is here to guide you on this path, offering insights and practices to help you live with clarity and compassion. Peace is a practice, not a destination. Click subscribe now. Your path to inner peace starts here with Daily Buddhist. And let's keep this conversation going. Have you experienced moments of unexpected calm or insight? Share your story in the comments. Your journey could inspire someone else. Live fully, love deeply, and embrace the freedom that comes from letting go. The present moment is yours to claim.